Welcome to the 2021 Caddy 5 launch training. The information contained in this video is for the purposes of learning. Please ensure that you keep updated on any changes on these products by checking the price lists and reading bulletins that may be distributed by Volkswagen commercial vehicles. This material is not intended for customer consumption. Volkswagen South Africa will not be held responsible for any damage or injury caused by the use of this content.
Welcome to the second episode in our series on the launch training of the Volkswagen Caddy 5. I'm actually in a Volkswagen Caddy Combi with Craig from Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles, one of our experts we've been chatting to, and then this random surfer guy that we picked up along the way somehow, and his surfboard, which miraculously fits into the Caddy Combi. So we're going to check out all of the awesome features of the Caddy Combi in this episode, as well as take a look at the Caddy and the competitors in the market. But before we all do all of that, Craig, let's go and chat to Reg on set.
Yeah, let's do that.
I am floored about how much space there is in this, right?
Awesome.
It's like so much stuff you can do with it. Hey,
Yeah, I'm fitting a surfboard
Reg.
in.
Hi,
Ah, there we
Roseanne.
go,
Hi,
Reg.
Craig. Welcome to set.
Wow, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Reg.
You know what, while you guys chat about the Caddy Combi in a little bit more detail, I'm going to jump into that Caddy Combi and go drop the surfer and his surfboard wherever they need to be.
Fabulous. So, Craig, let's have a look at some of the standard features on Caddy Combi.
Great, Reg. Let's start in the front. Okay, so standard for the Caddy Combi are twin halogen headlamps with separate daytime running lights, which are permanently switched on while the vehicle's being driven.
Great, that's a great safety feature on that vehicle.
Yeah, it makes it nice and visible. So let's stay in the front here and look at the bumper area. So what they've done here, it's black coated bumpers, standard on the Caddy Combi, which makes sense from a commercial point of view. So any little stone chips and things, you're just not going to see.
Indeed, it does. A huge cost saving for our fleet owners for repairs.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So, Craig, let's have a look at the seating arrangements on this vehicle. So, Caddy Combi, obviously we have a Combi 1.6 and a 2-litre TDI, which is standard 7-seater unit. And then we have the Caddy Maxi Combi, which is a 7-seater package, where we have 3-seat bench in the second row, and we have a 2-seat bench in the third row.
Okay, and am I correct in saying you can remove those seats?
Yes, indeed, Craig. You can remove all the seats, and all the seats are foldable as well. So you can adapt the vehicle to make space, lose space, get an extra seat in order to help.
Have a flat bed to load stuff?
Indeed.
Yeah, what a pleasure.
Which makes it usable for both our commercial customers and for passenger moving.
Okay. Right, let's go and have a look at the interior, and this is where they've made a huge difference from previous Caddy to the new one. It's nice and clean, all digital, very few buttons and knobs. In fact, everything is digital, all controlled through the infotainment. So it's referred to as the composition audio radio. It's standard 6.5-inch color touchscreen, really nice, intuitive touchscreen. Comes with a Type-C USB interface, which is now the more modern interface. And then has 4 speakers and a cell phone interface, which is really good for the driver.
Craig, once again, we're looking at safety for the driver, passengers, and the goods.
Yeah, quite right. So always keeping that in mind. All right, so let's have a look at this. This is also impressive. So gone is the handbrake lever. It's all now electronically controlled, electronic brake with auto hold feature, standard on the Caddy Combi, and just cleans the whole area up. Gives you little bits of storage area for the driver.
Craig, if you've noticed, the new Caddy Cargo, Caddy Combi, and new Caddy has that feature as standard on all the vehicles.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
It does, doesn't it? Craig, lastly, let's have a look at the wheels. So,
Okay.
steel wheels are standard on Caddy Combi. However, we have a 16-inch wheel on the Caddy Combi and a 17-inch steel wheel on the Caddy Maxi Combi.
Okay, and steel wheels make sense for the space that this vehicle's being used in?
Yes, from a commercial aspect, it's once again cost saving. If there should be any damages, it just makes sense. Righty, Craig, let's talk engines.
Yeah, awesome. Reg, I noticed that we've got the 1.6 petrol and a 2-litre TDI. We've used these before, reliable. Customers don't have problems with them, but I noticed some of the figures are not what I recognize. So the 1.6, yeah, 81 kilowatts, but the Newton meters has come down a little bit. It's not a lot, 3 Newton meters. But what's that all about?
All right, Craig, so when we talk emission standards in the world, this EU6 engine has to fall within certain standards to be an EU6 engine. Hence, we've now got an EU6 engine with slightly less Newton meter torque that brings it within the parameters to be an EU6 engine.
Okay, and that's sort of one of the highest emission standards in the world, so that's awesome.
Indeed, Craig,
okay, so
indeed.
nice clean running engine. Right, let's get to the diesel. Is that a printing error? 300 Newton meters? That's a lot more than the previous one.
Yes, Craig. The previous 2-litre TDI engine was 250 Newton meters.
Okay.
And it's now gone up to 300 Newton meters. And this is an EU4 engine. So there's no emission standards for this engine as it's not being used within Europe.
Okay, so what does that 50 Newton meters do for the customer?
Craig, towing ability and the wear and tear of the vehicle under payload, or the drivability of the vehicle under maximum payload, is now so much easier because you've got so much more power to use in the driving mode of this vehicle.
Okay, awesome to hear. So 2 internationally standard engines, they meet all the emission controls, and we know they're reliable because we've used this format in the past.
100%. Craig, and that's it for the new engines.
Okay, good to hear.
So Craig, you and I have had a discussion about Combi. Let's have a chat about Caddy.
All right, so Caddy being our sort of upmarket vehicle with all the goodies in, the ladies like that. I think we're going to bring Roseanne back on for that.
That sounds good.
Reg, it goes without saying, just by looking at the Caddy, it is a beautiful car. But is it just a pretty face, or does it have other stuff to offer as well, a little bit of oomph?
Roseanne, this vehicle is not only a pretty face. It has a lot of exterior features that will be appealing to the eye, but a lot of it that's very functional and usable for customers. But let's not talk about how pretty it is. Let's have a look at what the vehicle offers us. If you can press one of those buttons for us, and we can have a look at the vehicle.
Pressing buttons, my 7-year-old would be losing his mind now, going, which one must I press? I'm going to start at the back this side. So let's see. Okay.
Roseanne, the newly designed taillights are standard on the Caddy, and it gives the vehicle a well-rounded finish from the rear.
It's a very good impression, definitely for sure, from the back.
Yes, it has to.
Okay, let's see. Let's go for this one. Yeah.
Aha, fabulous. Roseanne, remember the handbrake in your vehicle?
Yep.
It's no longer there. The new Caddy has an electronic brake and auto hold, which is standard on the vehicle. Just the press of a button.
So you're telling me all of those bicep curls I've been doing for years at the gym, I don't need to use it to pull the handbrake up anymore?
No more. Just the press of a button.
And you know what? That's also really convenient for people that do a lot of driving and a lot of stop, start, that you don't have to do this with, it's just a button.
Just the press of a button.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance now to do one. So let's
All right,
see.
let me be quite comfortable and go there.
Okay.
Ah, fabulous. So, Roseanne, we spoke about the taillights. So, the new Caddy comes standard with LED main headlights with separate LED daytime running lights, which gives the vehicle good view during the day and good lighting at night.
So it's quite a good safety feature.
100%.
So one of the things that I do is I do the traffic on a radio station, and often I will say in a bulletin, please make sure to turn your headlights on. And a lot of people don't turn their headlights on in the daytime. But the fact that there are separate designated LED daytime running lights on this car is something that I don't think I've ever seen before.
A natural progression of technology and safety.
And also, so the people that are jealous of you and your Caddy can see you a lot better. Let's go for this one here. I wonder what this is.
All right, Roseanne. So the new Caddy 5 also comes standard with body-colored bumpers, which means the bumpers are exactly the same color as the body, which makes the vehicle visually so much more appealable to the customers.
So what I've definitely come to learn now over the past couple of episodes is that this car is beautiful and visually great to look at, but it's also so functional. So everything that it has design-wise actually has a purpose in terms of its function.
Functionality and practicality is exactly what we're looking for in this vehicle.
Yeah, which leads into that whole thing of it's a car you can use for work, but it's also something that fits into your lifestyle and your personality.
Roseanne, you will see that from your personal life, that this vehicle is 100% perfectly suited for moms at home and businesses. And if you want to mix it up, you can.
What else? Ooh, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna try this one. Okay.
Roseanne, obviously new Caddy has two engine derivatives, a 1.6 petrol engine and a 2-liter TDI engine. So the short wheelbase derivatives of this vehicle come standard with 5 seats and the Maxi comes standard with 7 seats. With this, we also have some additional features that happens in the vehicle. For instance, there's small little drawers under the driver and front passenger seat. We have lumbar support for the driver and front passenger seat, which is manually adjustable. And then we have height adjustment for the front seats. The double grid fabric seat trim covers are fabulous and looks good.
So what makes me so excited about the features you've just mentioned is the space inside. So we're a family of 4, so if we go on holiday, there's space for luggage, there's space for legs, and there's space for everything else. But also in terms of a work comparison that I can make is often if I'm traveling for a shoot and I'm traveling far, I do most of the driving. So if I'm now in my 2-hour stint before we take a break, I can get quite uncomfortable, especially if it's like not a tarred road. So the fact that there is lumbar support makes me very excited.
Roseanne, precisely, you get to your shoot comfortable and relaxed and your body will feel good.
That's so good to hear. Okay, I think I've got 2 more, so my second last one, I will go for this one.
So Roseanne, we have a composition infotainment system which is standard on Caddy. This vehicle has an 8.25-inch color touchscreen. It has App Connect. It has a cell phone interface. And then it has 2 USB-C types interfaces in the center console in the front of the vehicle. And it has 2 USB charging socket C types on the rear center armrest.
2 charging sockets. You know what that means for me? With my 2 kids and their iPads when we go on long trips or anything, I don't have to hear, my battery is flat, can I have your phone? No, you cannot. You can charge your own iPad. And also, they won't fight because there's one for each of them.
And that's the great part of it because when the vehicle was designed, it was specifically designed with that in mind, that you can have more than one person in the rear of the vehicle.
I did also now mention my cell phone. I often, when I'm working, I drive between either voiceovers or meetings or shoots or whatever the case may be, and I make a lot of my phone calls in the car while I'm driving just to save time. And I mean, the cell phone interface is something that is going to help me immensely.
Safe for you and for your passengers.
Great stuff. Well, that last one's a little high. I wonder how I'm going to reach it. Oh, handyman.
That's handy.
Thank you.
So Roseanne, apart from this vehicle being pretty, it's also very functional. You will see that black roof rails are standard on Caddy. You can use this to put on extra storage compartments on the roof of the vehicle.
That's actually so perfect and convenient for me because when we travel and we go and shoot somewhere, the crew's got their own luggage and then we've got the gear and everything. So Knowing that we can put a roof compartment on top of these rails will help us so that we don't need to still bring a trailer and everything else with us as well.
Roseanne, funny enough that you mentioned a trailer. This vehicle has been prepared for a trailer, and you can have a permanently fixed or removable tow bar fitted to the vehicle.
So you actually have so many options with the Caddy.
Roseanne, yes, that's what makes the vehicle unique, both for business and for personal use. But let's join Craig back in the studio.
As an active mom and a busy businesswoman, I need a car that can adapt to whatever I need it to be on any given day.
Sure.
I really like the Caddy, but are there any other options within the South African market?
Well, I'm happy you said you like the Caddy, because that's the good choice. And
Of course.
yeah, are there other options out there?
Craig, sorry. Can somebody just help this guy find his way?
What's this cat doing? Okay, while somebody helps him find his way, I'll tell you what, let's go and have a look at what else there is in the South African market. So Reg, competitors. Are there competitors to the Caddy in the South African market?
Craig, yes. In the South African market, we have for a few competitors, but however, today we're going to have a look at Toyota Avanza in comparison to the Caddy Combi.
Okay.
And then for Caddy Cargo, we'll use the comparison of the Nissan NP200, which is a pickup, not the same segment vehicle, but in the South African market, is truly a competitor.
All right.
Let's have a look at the Avanza.
Okay, Toyota Avanza.
All right, so Craig, in the Toyota Avanza, we have an option of a 1300 or a 1500 petrol engine.
Okay.
Only petrol, no diesel.
Okay.
Caddy Combi, 1600 MPI, 2-litre TDI engine. The advantage here is huge, especially when we start looking at full load capacity with the vehicle. 2-litre TDI engine outweighs most of the competitors.
Yeah, any sort of towing, any of that
100%
TDI?
in the TDI.
All right.
Vehicle suited for that. If we then start and we have a look at the interior of the Avanza, you'll see that the Toyota Avanza's interior is not as stylish, not as modern, and not as clean as we have in the Combi. So if you have a look at the vehicle, you'll see there's storage space on the top of the dashboard. There's very little buttons, very clean lines.
Yeah, nice digital appearance, and seems to wrap around the driver nice.
The ergonomics on the vehicle is absolutely, absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
But even more impressive than that is, Craig, if we have a look at the seating arrangements in these vehicles, the first thing that you will note is that you will see that normal wing door in comparison to the Caddy sliding door.
Yeah.
What does that give us? Firstly, the entrance into the vehicle. If you have to go into the vehicle, very, very limited in space. With the Caddy, we have huge space to enter into the vehicle. Second thing, if we start looking at the seating arrangements, the Toyota Avanza, the second row seats cannot be removed. They fold up to behind the driver's seat and the passenger seat, but they cannot be removed. The rear jump seats that you see,
Also
can't. Very difficult to remove. You have to undo nuts and bolts, and then you have a very uneven surface for loading. Where if we take the Caddy, seats are very easy to fold up. They can be removed, and then if you remove all the rear seats, you will see that it has a flat bed, which is easy for loading.
So much easier to get into.
Jump seats removable, second row of seats totally removable.
Okay, then you've got a flat area here.
Yes.
And here we've got 7 seats, and they've got 6?
7 seats.
Is it 7?
Yes, because the center seat bench always bunks up for.
Oh, okay, for some, but that won't be so comfortable.
It won't be that comfortable.
Okay.
So if we have a general comparison, engine capacity, Volkswagen hands down the better vehicle for us. From styling and looking on the dashboard and the interior, definitely the Volkswagen. And obviously for comfort and the way that we set out the seats and the comfort and the ease of that, definitely the Caddy.
And the utility.
The utility. Okay. So Caddy, Combi, hands down the winner in this one.
Okay, excellent. Let's go have a look at the NP200 versus our Cargo.
Yes, Nissan NP200.
Okay.
All right, Craig, starting off with engines once again,
Yeah.
we now have MP200, which is not necessarily a market segment competitor, but in the South African market, it is a competitor
To the cargo.
to the Caddy Cargo.
So it's all about loading cargo.
It's all about loading cargo and payload capacity and volumetric load capacity
Okay.
that we have to talk about.
But before we get there, yeah, let's have a quick look at the interior.
Let's have a quick look at the interior. So, old style interior, not as clean and as
Utilitarian.
not as modern as the Caddy Cargo's interior.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right,
so
good.
let's just start off with the engine capacity thing again. So we have a 1600 and a 2-liter available.
Okay, good.
Here we have a 1600 and a 1500 diesel engine available. So
Okay.
once again, from an engine capacity point of view, you have a 1500 diesel compared to a 2-liter diesel.
Yeah.
And we have a 1600 petrol in comparison to a 1600 petrol. So the comparison is there, but the big difference is in the rear of the vehicle.
Okay, so that's what it's all about, cargo. So for them to get extra cargo on, they've had to put this on top.
Yes.
We've got this lovely height, so we can load it right to the top. So let's look at the MP200's cargo compartment. So immediately I notice that this is a canopy. So this is a pickup with a canopy.
100%, Craig. In the
Okay.
South African market, pickup's very popular. This vehicle is the only vehicle in the half-ton pickup segment currently in South Africa, so it has 100% market share. Hence, we find that it's a competitor for us from a perspective where it's not actually measuring apples with
carrying
apples.
cargo.
Yeah,
And yeah, so immediately, from a safety point of view, being a canopy, they've had to put
they had to put
extra bits on.
extra bits and locks on
Okay.
because you've got fiberglass comparison to metal.
And
so
closed
it's-
completely.
Yeah, closed
Okay.
completely.
All right, so to get in, sure, this is not easy to get to the back there.
Yes,
You've got
Craig.
to probably
So
crawl in here.
when we start talking about weight distribution, especially if you start doing more mass-orientated loads, you have to get the maximum mass over the axle or in front of the axle
Yeah.
in order to adhere to the law in South Africa. So you have to take the heaviest things and move to past the wheel arches into the back of the compartment, which makes loading fairly difficult and uncomfortable.
A little bit awkward. Okay.
Yes. And obviously we have the height advantage of the Caddy,
Yeah.
which gives us a bit more loading space volumetric.
Okay. Right, let's have a look at the Caddy.
Caddy cargo compartment.
Oi, this cat again.
Special delivery.
Not for us.
Not for us.
That looked nice and easy. How did you do that?
Craig, that was quite comfortable. You'll see you got 2 yellow buttons that you just press in and you press the door open.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, Craig, you'll see that loading is now extremely easy because you don't have doors in the way. Quite
Yeah.
comfortable if you want to use a forklift to load a Euro pallet into the rear
So
of the
Euro pellet will fit.
Yes, it will.
Okay, and you can tie down if you needed to.
Yes, the tie downs are there for
Okay.
securing cargo.
That's awesome, Reg.
Craig, however,
Okay.
if I now open the side door,
Yeah.
I have quite a big area that I can load into the rear of the vehicle. So if you have heavy parcels,
Yep.
you can load them in front of the rear axle quite comfortably to get the weight distribution right through the side door.
Nice and easy. And what is the size of the, what cubic meters? Is that how we measure it?
Yes, we measured it in cubic meters. So this specific vehicle, 3.1 cubic meters in volumetric space.
That's a
And
lot.
if it was a Caddy Maxi, it would be 3.7 cubic meters. Craig, so just to conclude, Caddy Cargo,
Yep.
we have the superior engines and we have the superior loading bay, which makes us a clear winner in the competitor segment for this compared to the MP200. However, the MP200, as I said, is not a direct comparison apple to apples. So the
Yeah.
pricing for MP200 is good in comparison to Caddy Cargo. But we have the better product and better vehicle.
Yeah, without a doubt. Couldn't agree with you more.
All right.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Reg.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you for joining us for this, the second episode in our series about the new Volkswagen Caddy 5. In this episode, we've looked at the Caddy Combi, we've looked at the Caddy and the competitors in the market. But for me, the most insightful thing about this episode was to see the adaptability of the vehicle for me as a mom.
Yes, Roseanne, and that's exactly why the vehicle was made. The versatility in the vehicle is there to make sure that you can use it as a business tool, or you can use it as a mom to drive the kids around with. Craig, we've really learned a lot in this episode, but let's check whether the people have been listening.
Yeah, let's see if they've been listening. So right, it's time again to test your knowledge. So this is the question. What is the seating capacity of the Caddy Combi Maxi? So on the right hand side in the chat box, please fill in your answers over there. Yes, I see some numbers coming through. Good, keep going. Yeah, some of you weren't listening. Yeah, keep going, more numbers. Yes. Come on, there's a lot of you online. Please fill it in. All right, and while that's happening, please remember we're sending out a survey once again. Please complete it. It's nice to get your feedback so that we can see how we can improve on the next episode.
Please make sure to book and register so that you can join us for episode 3 in the series about the Volkswagen Caddy 5, where we'll be looking at sales argumentation, conversion capability, and connected infotainment. Sounds very insightful to me.
Thank you guys. See you the next episode.
Cheers.